Hello everyone, it's me, Jessica, and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a speed build, and we are doing like a rustic wedding venue kind of situation. I did do this for the Sims Sparked challenge, or like challenge the destination wedding one. But I'm actually just very proud of myself. I went for Originally, I was kind of going for like a barn look here, but I think it kind of turns out to look like it was probably more of like an old mill or maybe an old brewery. Who kind of knows? I went with an old mill in the end was my idea, but you could say it was whatever. But I did put a basement in. I tried to like just add something a little bit different, a little bit out of my element, and like an exposed basement like that is not really something I do super often. So yeah, I went for it, and I think that it paid off because down there is a kitchen in the end, a sauna, and like a children's playroom, so that there's kind of something for everyone to do. I didn't put like any children's or toddler beds around, because the way I see it, in at least the way I play, is that if I'm gonna like have a wedding or something like that and there's a toddler or child involved, I'm very possibly just going to cheat their needs to ensure that I don't have to deal with toddlers passing out. Maybe I'm not cheating needs all the time, but like I'm definitely gonna cheat needs at those times. But right here, you're gonna watch me really struggle. I had to take out a bunch of walls to basically frame what would be like barn doors, because I figured even if they're like, so the basement is where my idea of like this old brewery or it being like an old mill or something like that kind of came along, because barns don't have basements typically, at least in my experience. But I wanted there to definitely be like that rustic barn doors being open kind of thing. So I just went all out for that in the entrance. But I did have to close it off in the end. I really wanted it to be open. But I have like the upstairs is open to the downstairs, and because the downstairs was open to the outside, it was just very tricky with the lighting. Everything just looked like that weird, bluish color. So I ended up fiddling with it until finally I got it to where there's kind of just like a little entrance with a door inside of those barn doors, and it leads into like the event space. Pardon me. But I think that the inside, maybe to some people, interiors have to be super like over the top, and I kind of wanted the inside of the barn to be a little bit more simplistic. Like this is definitely an event space that you can rent out, and this is me struggling with the fireplace. I think I just fixed that off camera, to be honest, because there's even a jump right there and there's a bunch more landscaping done. So yeah, I fixed the fireplace off camera. I put it off on the right side of the build, which I had to take the bay window out for, which I was bummed, because honestly I really wanted to use that bay window. But it's okay. I went ahead and just put the chimney off on the right side of the build, because I wanted that like statement chimney for, aesthetic myself, because I like those. But I littered this place with foliage, like flowers, and the pond area. There's all sorts of stuff to do. I tried to really like think about if you were gonna have a birthday party here, or you just wanted to come here to get away with the family, because there's kind of, there's a dance floor inside, and there is a kids room downstairs, so it could kind of be a space to come to, but it's not really, it's more of a party space for sure. It's definitely a throw your wedding and your birthday party kind of space. Um, but anyways, I did like this little dual entrance because I just thought that it kind of made for like this grand opening. Even though it's an outdoor event hall, I liked having the two different sides that you could enter in on. Um, yeah, and this is the little actual spot where you can get married. Um, so to be quite honest, the actual like space for the ceremony, I took a lot of inspiration just from my own wedding and my dream wedding collaborated because strangely enough, I still did not technically have like my dream wedding. My wedding was absolutely wonderful, just so great, honestly. But it it was a bit more of like trying to please my parents because my now husband and I had both kind of discussed the idea of just like we lived in Colorado at the time, so we discussed the idea of just like maybe having our parents come out and just like getting married literally up in the mountains, which was always kind of my dream. I've never wanted a big wedding, but my mom, more so my mom, she kind of insisted that I have like a real, place where people can sit down and stuff because she just insisted that I, invite the whole shindig. And it was still a wonderful day, honestly. There was no drama. Our families blended very well. It was just, it like went off, without a hitch kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. It looking back, I still wish that I could have just had my boho dream wedding in the mountains with my like rug laid out to get married on and just take some pictures in the trees kind of thing. That was always my dream. Okay, so we're inside now. And you're going to see that I kind of struggle with the bar choice, but I end up going with this one actually. I like that it had that like rustic look to it. I then could not figure out where to put it, but I still, once again, I figure it out. But I wanted it to have this like rustic feel that whoever owns this place definitely has put the money in to make it look, like a rustic event hall. But there's still like, I very purposely put this DJ booth that looks like it was like probably set up by the DJ, like a mobile DJ booth. So not that one actually, I do end up changing it to a different one. But in my mind, it was like perfect because if you're gonna like have a wedding, most of the time you don't have just like this awesome like nightclub DJ stand, like off in the corner where the DJ is. Like that's not typically, I mean, I guess if you're spending enough money on your wedding, then sure. But I didn't even like break the 10K budget that I feel like a lot of women, maybe before they're starting to actually plan a wedding. I think most people's dream weddings are like, above 10K, and that's a lot of money. I don't know, at least in my world. Sorry, my cats are playing. But this is the like honeymoon suite, essentially. I wanted the bathroom to be open to the bedroom because it is supposed to be the honeymoon suite. So I know that whenever this lot is actually active, it does serve as like a bar. At least that's the lot type that I put it under, was a bar. So the Sims like will go in that room and just hang out and watch TV and stuff. And then I suppose if they use the restroom, they would get embarrassed. And so in practicality of playing The Sims, that probably wasn't the best decision. But in my mind, it is supposed to be a honeymoon suite, and so they would have that privacy where they're staying overnight and they don't have people coming in their room constantly. But I just wanted to really litter this place with character and detail. Because I feel like, me personally, I kind of struggle with decorating sometimes. Furnishing can be a bit tedious and drawn out. Like, I feel like sometimes furnishing just takes forever. I know I'm not alone there, but I was feeling very inspired. I did very good, like, focusing on this build. I think, I honestly don't remember how many hours it took me. It took me a few hours for sure. Um, and it was over a couple of different days because my real life one baby challenge, she's not so much a baby anymore. She is definitely, she's mobile, she's moving, she's grooving, she's got teeth. I mean, a whole bunch of teeth. She's had teeth for many months now. But she is keeping me ever so busy. Oh man. Okay, so anyways, I put the like spa looking bath tile in that bathroom. I love using that in like something that I want to feel spa like. Absolutely one of my favorite things to do with that like flooring tile. Um, okay, so now you get to watch me struggle with the side of the building. Um, I might have done some of it off camera, but I wanted it to have more detail. I wanted it to look more interesting. So I envisioned these are just extra pieces of lumber that maybe they have sanded down or something like that, or maybe it's a special type of wood. I am not super educated on my woods, so I will not claim to know. Uh, but I used that lighter, or maybe I think actually I darkened those up so they do end up being more of a warm wood tone. But yeah, I envision that to just be like some extra detail that the owner, him or herself wanted to put up to just, I don't, like me, just make it look more interesting because it was just a big blank side of the building. But the little garden down in there, I figured that made sense because the rain would be able to get down in there, and the vine growing up the wall I thought was a nice little touch because I feel like I always forget to use vines and like the ivy and stuff. If I spend a lot of time in a build, or if I'm actually playing in a build, I'll probably end up putting ivy on it at some point. But I think when I go in to build something new, I'm really bad at like making sure I include those like aged details. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's what I got. My thought of the day. Okay, so now you're going to see me pull this event space together. I littered some presents throughout. I wanted it to look like it's absolutely a wedding or a birthday party, 100%. You're having, I mean, or I suppose you could have like a baby shower or something like that here. Um, I don't do those kinds of things in my Sims play, but if you do, if you have bachelorette parties or whatever, this would still be a good place for that because the inside of the event hall does not scream wedding, I don't think. Not entirely. Um, but I did want it to have a very relaxed vibe. I wanted that like bohemian, just kind of chill vibe come out inside of the build. So I put a bunch of ottomans instead of like chairs or couches or anything that would be more formal. I put ottomans all over the place, and I think that it turned out really cute. Um, I know that right now you're watching me landscape and I'm still talking about ottomans, but it's fine. But once again, I'm just littering the place with foliage. I really just wanted it to have good definition and to include all those details that I think I kind of leave out. Um, Here we go. Here we go. I'm like, when am I? Because I moved the kitchen down, and then that whole upstairs, it does change ever so slightly. But this is the end of the speed build, so I will pass you off to the tour now. Hello everyone, it's me, Jessica, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to look at a rustic wedding venue. And yes, you can naturally assume, my cat, you can assume it is for the Spark challenges, because of course everyone is doing stuff for the challenges, and this is what I have come up with for my wedding venue, because I actually really love a good rustic wedding. And so anyways, I think I'm participating correctly, and if not, then this is just a build that I can enjoy for myself either way. So we are in Windenburg, and this is the venue. What I have here is what I envision to be like an old barn, or maybe like an old mill or something like that, that they have renovated into an event hall. Maybe like the city of Windenburg has funded this. So what we have is like a little private honeymoon suite, if you will, over there, and then everything else is in the actual build itself off to the left for the most part. You do get married outside, but as you come up, we have what I would imagine this to be like the sign for the building, but also a historical plaque there, just kind of talking about like the history of the build and the renovation process or something like that. So you can enter on either side, and both sides are pretty similar. So I think we'll go in this side. So over here, well, both sides, there is a little book. And technically this is from the Vampires pack, so don't look too closely. Just look at the heart as like, it's about love. Talking about love because they're getting married. But what I envision that to be is like their guest book maybe, or like their love story, if they want to like have something like that out. I know people do all sorts of things whenever they get married to go all out. But then I put a bunch of like little touches in. You have the flamingo over here. There's like this little firewood pit, because technically the people running the grounds would, you know, need spots like that where they can actually keep things functionally. Oh man, like, so this is the front of the build. There's a lot to look at, so we're gonna take a minute with this tour. This is the front of the build, and I have sectioned it to where it looks like the old barn doors are open, but there is like a door inside of there, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. There is another Vampires book right there, but over there is technically, and we'll kind of get a better look at it right here, there is a basement area, and that's what we're going to be seeing here. So what this is essentially, I imagine this to be maybe an old cellar down here or something like that. And so we've kind of converted that into more of like a, come here. Sorry, my cats are being feisty. Okay, so the downstairs, I have converted it to be more of like the powwow spot. There's a spot for kids down there. There's a sauna down there. Kind of random, but that's how I like my community builds. I like things to do. I've said this so many times. I'm sorry, I'm yelling about community builds. Okay, so we're gonna focus on the outside for a second. So over here, you have like, you could walk through here because they can walk over these fences. So you have like a little pond area here. The pond has got like the frog. It's got the lady statue. We've got some fountains going on. We have a little sitting area in front of the fountain over there that kind of separates where the actual wedding venue spot is, like the aisle. I've got the wishing well over here. I thought that was kind of a good little touch because it is a wedding venue, but you could also have like birthday parties and stuff like that here as well and just ignore the wedding spot. But there's like, oh, you know, what's back here? So you walk off. Oh, what, you know, you're walking. Oh, what's that? Wedding venue stuff, you know, because why not? I thought that was just kind of a funny little secret, and you'd have to kind of be looking for it to like notice the detail there. So anyways, Off over here, we have a chess table because this is a park, and so I had to have a chess table. I have to have playground equipment as well. So I envisioned that the kids would obviously not be playing while they're getting married, but it is right next to the aisle, so that's kind of weird. There is also a grill back here, but I wanted them to have the option to grill instead of, you know, just constantly cooking on the inside. We'll go inside in a moment. A lot of details, a lot of stuff to look at, like I said. So we've got the little walkway over here that takes you to this little private cottage, if you will. This is the space that you could call the honeymoon suite. There's someone in here. That's fine. Totally fine. So in here we have a TV. There's the stereo, there is a fireplace. I wanted it to be nice and cozy. So if you wanted to just hold up here with your honey all afternoon, you could. So we've got the bathtub in here, lots of plants everywhere, the little toilet and stuff over there. And it is an open floor plan in here because it is supposed to be a honeymoon suite. So in my head, of course, honeymoon suite is, you know, going to be a little more open. Okay, so this is the actual aisle. This is where you actually come to get married. And I mean, would you just, it's beautiful. So what I have done is I layered a bunch of rugs to essentially be the walkway because I thought that that was a really cool little runner spot. So, you know, do, 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 do. You have the little lantern tree off to the side over there, plus a bunch of the actual like lit up trees from the holiday pack. I love it. So this is where you would come, you'd stand here in front of this beautiful spot, and you'd get married in front of all of your family and friends. Okay. To go inside of the build really quick, we are going to start downstairs. I forgot I always have to like actually go down. Okay, going down. All right, so like I said, this is the powwow spot, the hangout spot, if you will. There's not a TV down here, but there is a couch. There's the ping pong table. Little shout out to all inclusivity there. And then of course you got a bookshelf because you got to have a bookshelf. And then this is the kitchen space where if you're going to hire a caterer or something like that, they would come down here to do their cooking. And I wanted it to be a little more like private, away from everything. So this is the kids' room. This is definitely where you could send the kids to come and just be with kids. Just come and hang out and do your thing in here. And then right next to it is the sauna room. And I wanted this to definitely scream a little bit boho. So you've got the succulents, the wall of flowers, the fairy lights, but it still has that kind of romantic vibe to it with the drink tray, the spa flooring. It kind of, you know, it hits home for that, the honeymoon part of, you know, if you're gonna stay here, because I wanted it to seem almost like this is a bit of an all-inclusive stay. If you want to get married here, there's everything that you kind of want if you want it. You know, you can travel around the Windenburg Island or take the ferry and go back to the mainland and blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. I sound like, you know, Hotel Transylvania. I watch it. I do. So I use a little table so much in this build, and it just screamed like rustic boho to me. I don't know that I've ever actually used that table, but I was so happy. So here we have the guest book. Once again, I figured just something else that looks, you know, wedding-ish, some flowers, and then maybe a picture of, you know, him and her, or him and him, or her and her, or whoever getting married on their like child soccer team or something like that together. Who knows? But this is inside. It's funny because we don't have any picture frames of like couples. There's no like pictures of couples. There's pictures of pears and apples, But anyways, inside, you have the dance floor. And I feel like the dance floor, the like furniture, I wanted it to look like very just kind of lax. I'm a lax builder. I don't go for super all out and fancy. I wanted that rustic vibe to kind of come in. So you have the ottomans that look very bohemian, the chairs from Eco Living kind of littered throughout that also kind of bring in that handmade touch, kind of that bohemian style. Once again, they kind of go hand in hand. The barrel buckets holding the flowers and the barrels holding the juice, all of it. I felt, in my opinion, that all kind of tied together in the like rustic appeal. But obviously over here in this right corner, this looks a little out of place, but I feel like that fits the part. If this wedding venue is something that you would like rent out, obviously the DJ would bring his own setup. And so that's why I really I liked this. This is not a nightclub, so I didn't want like a DJ booth. I thought that was very fitting. So we have the DJ setup here. I like it. I think it's appropriate. And the little banner over here, love it. And all of the wood accent pieces everywhere, I don't really know how to explain them. I just thought that they were architecturally kind of cool, and maybe they were from the original part of the build, and as they were maybe refurbishing parts, this is how they reused some of the wood. Over here we've got a big old present pile. I wanted it to definitely look like a wedding, so you've got some pictures up, little powwow spot down here next to one of the eating areas. There is an actual eating spot upstairs, so that's why I didn't want a table and chairs down here. I wanted just a bunch of seating spots, like little powwow spots. So I think it looks really cool. I hope that you guys are liking it so far, because I like it. We're gonna use it, I think, for sure in any of my YouTube series. Hands down, I'm so excited to get a couple married here. I'm really mad at my legacy current heir, Quentin, for not being married, but it's fine. He has non-committal issues. So anyways, as you come upstairs, I wanted to bring in more of that rusticness. You just keep it going. You got the succulents, you've got the plants everywhere. Oh, and this light, I actually used this light everywhere. It's from the Cats and Dogs pack, but it just looks so like, oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I would have that light everywhere in real life. We've just got some plants. These are 2 bathrooms, and these 2 bathrooms are the exact same on both sides. Cute little mirror, double toilet paper, and a shower to go with the toilet. I wanted it to seem like if you pop in, you can take care of any of your business. So here we've got the little, whatever, room divider thingies. I thought that they were really cute. You come in and you've just got this lovely space here. That light is actually not centered, and that's really gonna bother me, but it's kind of, so I think I wanted it over the dancing area. So there is a little jukebox up here to bring the music in, and there's also nice big windows everywhere, so you've got beautiful views everywhere. You can really see just the landscape, and I wanted that to be a part of it. So you've got water as far as your eye can see. Either way you look, no matter what seat you have in the house, you're looking good. You've got another serving tray up here, just to make your life a bit easier. I love it. I'm so happy with it. Personally, I am like, dude. I put the glass in front of the wine or juice cellars on either side because I wanted it to kind of seem like it was maybe refrigerated. And then just some small details up here. I didn't want a whole lot of, there's no microwave or anything like that up here, but there is a spot to take your dishes and put them away. There is, if you would, envision like the knives or the cooking utensils and stuff like that, is like to slice the cake and all that stuff. So I just thought that was, yeah, good little touch in my opinion. But this is it. This is the little magical fairy place that I created, and I think it looks really cute. I did size down that tree over there, and I think the lantern might actually not have the little fairy lights in it, so I might actually have to swap it out for just the regular, yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to swap that out for just the regular oak tree because I feel like that looks a bit weird. And we have plenty of fairy lights around here. Obviously, I kind of littered them all over. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I just wanted to participate in some of the fun. I wanted to be able to have a good time in my own Let's Plays. Just, I love the world of Windenburg. It is my absolute favorite, and I feel like getting married right here, I mean, it's beautiful. This is a beautiful spot. So anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, staying safe out there. Thank you so, so much for stopping by, and I will catch y'all later. Bye.